Vince Grant, fear is nothing to be afraid of. Vince.
Well, when I'm done with this talk, I will make a lot more sense to you. I was first born into a family that was going to be a really small Irish Catholic family, only 7 kids. My father was the first in his class at Georgetown Medical School. My mother was first in her class at Yale Nursing School. So pretty much my entire life was predetermined. I was to be an underachiever. When I was growing up, my parents weren't exactly your Ozzie and Harriet types. My father worked at private practice. We rarely saw him. My mother always had better things to do than raise the kids. So basically, the job of raising the kids was kind of left to me since I was the oldest one. My parents were not the Ozzie and Harriet types or the Leave It to Beaver types. My father's idea about discipline was a little bit more medieval. He was a big proponent of the leather belt. And for the first 12 years of my life, I thought a belt was something you wore across your backside. And it's true. It started when I was very young. I have vivid memories of when I was 3 years old. Actually, I had wandered away from the home and was gone for about an hour. And I got a licking that I still have scars on my back that still are there. So you can imagine what emotional scars are there. When I started school originally in New Jersey, it was possible for a kid of 5 years old to go into first grade. So that's what I did. We moved to Colorado the next year, and my our pediatrician recommended they keep me back a year because I'd be so much younger than all the other kids. But my parents wouldn't hear of it. So I started school here a year younger and a year smaller than all the other kids in the school. Plus, I went to a Catholic school, which was isolated. It was way far away from where we lived, two miles away. So, of course, having any friends from the school was kind of out of the question. I had to walk all my brothers and sisters 2 miles to school every day, then get bullied all day long, and then walk 2 miles home every day. I became very good at you've heard of the fight or flee response? I was really good at the fleeing portion of that. I really did learn how to do that. I became very creative, and I used to build little hidey holes and things, places where I could hide and I could feel safe. There was one point in time when my parents I went to camp for about 6 weeks, and about halfway through that there was a parents visiting day where when they came, I actually ran and hid from them. I know, it's scary, isn't it? When I went to high school, okay, this was going to be all different now that I'm in high school because I'm a big kid. I'm 6 foot tall and a very intimidating 145 pounds. So, well, okay, I wasn't bigger, but I was taller. But the isolation became almost, worse for a while because now I had a 2-hour trip every morning to school and a 2-hour trip back on the city bus every day. So it was really difficult to, make any kind of friendships that you had because you were spending all your time commuting, going back and forth. But in high school, fortunately, this is where I started to actually find my own voice. When I started to, use the humor, which I developed over many, many years as a self-defense mechanism. And some kids in my high school, the year before me, had actually started kind of a grassroots, from the ground up, kind of get around the school and get some pep going. We were kind of a poster club, and yet we were kind of a pep club as well. And when I was a senior, we got into that, and it was really fun, it was brilliant, it was a creative outlet, it was a place where I could use my humor, and we actually became very popular with the administration. They thought we were terrific. So I have been, since that point on in my life, I have been interjecting comedy into everything I could do. Now, I don't know what your worst fear is, but most fears aren't really even fears. Most fears are conditioned into us all our lives, through our parents, through the fear-based religions that we all are that try to make you feel like you're to blame and it's your fault and if there are serious, serious consequences for anything. Most fears are ingrained. But I have found that no matter what the fear is, if you hold your head up straight and with which was humor. And that's what I did. And I recommend injecting humor whenever you can into your lifestyle, into your whatever you do. Because humor will actually kind of push the fear off. And the more you do it, holding your head up, striking a casual pose, and laughing in its face, fear gets pushed back. Fear gets sequestered away. Fear gets hidden. And the more you do it, the more you use humor in your life, humor can actually not just be a cure, it can actually be a vaccination against fear. The more you use humor, the more fear will not tread. You know where fear fears to go? That's where it is. So if you have any fears in your life, and trust me, my fears do kind of peek around the edges every once in a while and try to come out. And I do try to laugh in their face. Because they seem real to us even though they're really not. So if you have fear in your life and you're worried about it, turn it into a joke. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be there. And you're always going to be there. And the humor is always going to be available. So the next time fear comes and goes, knock, knock, and you go, who's there? It's me, fear. You can go, fear who? Ha!